Hello guys, Joker the Fool here with my review of Magic Cop. This is from Zaid Comics, which is ran by the two brothers, Philip and Brandon Diaz, and they were kind enough to provide me with a review copy of Magic Cop. Drop Dead Legs. This review, or this cover, is from Kelsey Shannon, and this book is basically combining like an 80s action cop movie with fairy tale elements and doing it all in a very R-rated, mature manner. Absolutely love the 80s aesthetic. It's dripping on everything that they do. And you can see, if you can see the back here, when a mermaid turns up dead, there is only one detective with the spells to crack the case, and that is Ignatius Cromwell. As you can see, he's the magic cop. It's got very much an 80s aesthetic from the logos, and like I said, from like the back up here, from the like splash page there. Everything has that very much that 80s style. But to get into what this story is that you've got this rookie magic cop who hasn't won the ability to use magic, and of course him not being able to use it, or him not showing that this discretion that comes with experience, plays into the story. But anyway, this is Ignatius Cromwell, the rookie cop, the rookie magic cop, getting partnered with Grey Wolf Silvermoon, who is an experienced Lycan cop who is going almost at retirement. It has a really strong opening in the fact that you've got these text credits, this text here. It makes it feel like you're watching the opening credits to a movie. So it's got a short little prologue in that, and then it opens up with introducing the Ambrosia Knights, which is basically, this division of the Ambrosia City Police Department that's dealing with these magical crimes. So you've got mermaids, you've got like Lycans, you've got the fact that he's a wizard with a wand. So you've got people who are engaging in these supernatural fairy tale sort of things, and they're the arm of the law that deals with that stuff. And Ignatius Cromwell is brought on as the most recent recruit for that department. And you've got the partner, Grey Wolf Silvermoon, who is the experienced cop who's just a day away from retirement. So it's got a decently, I would say, it's combining these like generic tropes with something that does feel decently unique. So it's taking a lot of stuff that is typically generic, like fairy tale stuff is pretty generic. The 80s action stuff is generic. The rookie cop versus experienced cop trope is something that's been done to death in films, but all of that combines into an amalgamation that feels pretty unique. I'm not going to. Then this is also quite mature. This is definitely an R-rated experience in terms of the story that's being told and what's shown off. So the art is done quite well, especially in the context of this being the first book from Zaid Comics. So Brandon Diaz has really good page layouts. He's got really good coloring. Some of the faces, some of the proportions are done a little bit odd in my opinion. So that's really the thing that's weakest to me, is that you'll see some of the faces look a bit weak, but most of it lands pretty well. And the page layouts, like I said, they're really clear. So these panel layouts are very clear, they're very distinct, and the fact that you've got these really good transitions from chapter to chapter help as well. And I absolutely love the main plot line. Like I said, this is Drop Dead Legs, so you've got, you might have seen a little bit there, but you have these mermaids that are smuggled, they're operated on, and then after being operated on, they're sold into prostitution. So it's very much a mature type of story. You see them talking with the surgeon there. And this isn't introducing any deep philosophical themes. This is definitely R-rated because you've got a lot of TNA. Because you're dealing with stuff like prostitution, so you're seeing a lot of scantily clad women. She's one of the I guess they're companions on the force, and they have her dressed up a little bit to try and smuggle her in as a possible mermaid. But you've got a lot of, I'd say, pretty unique character designs in this story, and that's probably that, along with the premise, is what saves this. And again, this is the main antagonist here. I believe he's Psycho Pimp. He's also called the Ferryman. And this is what really makes the story unique. It turns it from being like, a generic, 80s action flick comic book into something that feels decently unique and actually compelling. So that's the main takeaway for this story. And there is a lot of art for this book. There's a sequel for this book, which I haven't gotten my hands on. Definitely want to, based on this first one. But there isn't that much world building. So, they introduce Ambrosia City. They explain some stuff. And there is mostly this relationship between Ignatius Cromwell and Grey Wolf Silvermoon. And that's the pretty well established or done to death trope of the rookie cop and the senior cop. And I think that's done well. That does help to kind of ground the story. And it's the main, I would say, focus. So everything else focuses around that story. And of course, the main big case that he's trying to break, which is finding out who's killing all of these mermaids. And of course, they get very in mind and they track him down. And then it sets up the establishment for the next book. And of course, you've got mistakes that are made along the way. But there is another book for this. I know this one is sold out, so you currently can't buy it, but I will have Zaid Comics linked in the site below. Based on this, I definitely would read the sequel to this. So Magic Cop is definitely a really interesting property. I like the premise of it, and I love the idea of what Ambrosia City is, especially the fact that you've got people who have this ability to be free creatively, so you're not having to run this stuff by HR or corporate. You can just write the script, draw it, and then have it be out there to the readers. And it's definitely a really interesting concept. I certainly do like it, even if it's, like I said, taking a bunch of tropes, tying them together, and then you get something unique out of it. That's basically what Magic Cop is to me, and it really works, even if, like I said, some of the art, like you'll see some of the faces, some of the proportions, they do come off as a little bit weak and amateurish, but the layout, the coloring, and the letter are really strong, and that really pushes it through, and the transitions between chapters are done really well. So this is a really good story on that basis. So the writing is pretty solid. Like I said, there isn't much world building, there isn't that much characterization outside of the two main characters, but it's all done well enough that it is coherent and maintains your interest throughout the pretty sizable page count for this book. But that is all I have to say about Magic Cop. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Joker is out.
Thank you for stopping by the Velvet Room. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with Velvet Room Publishing, and go to velvetroompublishing.com if you want to go even deeper into the Velvet Room.